Hey guys, welcome back to a page in the chapter, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige and it is time for another 24-hour reading blog. So it is 9:07 right now. I will be starting this readathon at 9:30 and we're going to go 9:30 to 9:30. I am just going to say right up front though that this is going to be a kind of more chilled 24-hour reading vlog. If I want to sleep for a little bit, I'm gonna let myself sleep. I want to genuinely enjoy the books that I'm reading. I have a TBR of 4 hopefuls that I would like to get to, 3 new books, 1 reread, and I genuinely want to enjoy myself for the next 24 hours. I also have a very exciting parcel arriving today because the Canon G7X is arriving at my door today. So halfway through this vlog we're going to switch from the mix of DSLR and iPhone shots to just Canon G7X shots. So that is very exciting. Very excited for that. And I think all in all it's going to be a really good day. I'm just tired, I've barely slept, I just can't sleep lately. The hopefuls for this TBR, we're going to start with This Is How You Lose the Time Bought by Amal El Motar and Max Gladstone, and I will be potentially tabbing this up. I feel like tabbing works better for rereads because you know what themes you want to tab and it's kind of hard to do that in real time, but I will potentially tab this if it speaks to me. Then I'd like to read the third Off Campus series book by Elle Kennedy. I don't remember what it's called, but I really enjoyed the first 2. It's time to read the third one. I kind of have been taking my time with this series. It is a college ice hockey romance series and each book follows a different member of this male hockey team. Book 2 was my favourite of the ones so far, but I've heard very good things about book 3 and I'm really excited to check it out today. And then we have Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I'm in a bit of a romance mood today, don't know if you could tell. I'm not sure how I will find this. This is an enemies to lovers, no strings attached type of romance. I used to like these a lot in fan fiction, so I'm interested to see how I like it in traditionally published lit. And this will be my very first Colleen Hoover, so we'll see what I think of her writing style and does it live up to the hype. We will see. And then finally, and this is not a requirement, this is kind of a if I have time, if I'm really feeling it. Today am in a very, very, very cozy mood. It is dark and dreary and one of those dreary summer days. It is the embodiment of folklore out there today, and so I want to get cozy, and the best way I can think to do that is with a reread of Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. And again, I will tab this one up because it's a reread, and this is a fairly big book, but I loved it so much. So this follows Kath, who is part of an identical twin, her twin sister being Ren, and they go to the same college and they're in their first year. And when they get to college, Ren kind of decides that she wants to have her own life away from this sisterhood. And so she kind of just abandons Kath, and Kath is left to navigate this massive and terrifying new social environment completely by herself when she's quite shy. And it's about her navigating this environment and also, in order to cope with it, delving back into writing this fan fiction that she wrote as a child and coming to terms with the fact that it's going to end and she can't just never finish this fan fiction she's been writing because she's scared to grow up. And it is a very, very cozy, heartwarming book. I know Rainbow Rowell is not a great author. I would never buy another one of her books because I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding Rainbow Rowell. You can just Google it. It's a whole thing. So I would never buy another Rainbow Rowell book, but I bought this book back when it was big and everyone was talking about it and before everyone decided that they didn't like Rainbow Rowell, and I will not be getting rid of it, and I will not be never reading one of my favourite books in the entire world ever again. So one reread at the end of it. So if you guys like 24-hour vlogs and you'd like to see more, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. You can also, if you're interested in this type of content, I have a playlist of weekly reading vlogs entitled Reading Vlogs and a playlist entitled Doing Something Stupid, which is all of my 24-hour challenges. So do please feel free to go and watch the rest of that content if you would like to. It is 9:13 now. I have barely any time to go and get some toast, but then we will go and jump straight in with This Is How You Lose the Time War. So it is 10:30 and I am 52 pages into This Is How You Lose the Time War. Still no camera, but it's only 10:30 in the morning, so it's okay. Also, like, I'm remembering why I detest the summertime, and that is because my room is crawling in spiders, and I do not like spiders, and can we go back to when it's cold, please, and the bugs leave me alone. But I am tabbing up this book. I'm tabbing for imagery of death contrasted with like imagery of romance and love, so like by the end of it I'll be able to see all of the death compared to all of the romance, like in the tabs at the end. But another thing that I've like noticed now, and it's a bit too late for me to start annotating for it now, in one perspective, the perspective that is like more in the past, I think, you have all of these imageries of nature and light, and it's just a very, very natural imagery. And then in the other perspective that I believe is like more in the future, it's very scientific imagery, it's very like technical imagery, and I'm enjoying that contrast quite like a lot. It's giving the voices very distinct voices, but I am finding the general world quite difficult to understand. Like, there's not a lot of world building in this, it's just like strange. It's very beautifully written. I can see why my friend loves this, because it's such lyrical, like stunning writing. For me, so far, the world building is not really there enough. I just don't entirely understand like what's going on, how these two are talking each other. Like, I know that they're communicating in letters that then like dissolve or do something, I don't know, but I don't understand how they're sending the letters. I don't understand if they're like, I think one is in the future and one is in the past and they're communicating through time, but I don't understand if they travel through time. Like, I'm just a bit confused, but I'm gonna finish it. I'm reading it quite slowly though, I can't lie. I'm getting very distracted. I'm just really tired, as like the sleep is just not happening for me lately. So I'm gonna go neck a Red Bull, I think. Probably not gonna be good for my anxiety, but I'm just so tired. It is midday and I have only just finished This Is How to Lose the Time War. Never in my life has it taken me 2.5 hours to read 180 pages. I'm gonna blame the fact that I was tabbing it up, which, like, yeah, annotating will make me a bit slower, but that's still like kind of ridiculous. It ultimately comes down to the fact that I did not love this. It is stunningly written. Like, there are some passages that absolutely just take your breath away. Like, it is a beautiful book, but I have never been someone who goes for books for the writing style. Like, the lyrical writing, whilst being beautiful, is not enough of like a hook for me. I thought the world building was subpar and there wasn't really a romance in this book. I did tab up themes of love and themes of death, and like there's a lot of pink tabs, but for me, I just didn't buy into it. And as well, each chapter and letter like starts with the name of like red or blue, so you can see who you're reading, but by halfway through the chapter, like, I completely lost track of who I was reading. They had very, very similar voices, which is odd to me given this is written by two different authors. You'd think they'd be able to get the two different voices like quite strong and distinct, but I could not really tell the difference between the two. So whilst I completely understand why people love this book, and it is absolutely stunning, and anytime I'm looking for like quotes or passages, or I'm just in the mood for some beautiful writing, I will come back to this. But to me, it was not fantastic, and just in my tired like state of mind as well, didn't really do it for me. So I am very, very excited to go into off-campus book 3 because I just want something light and fluffy and crazy, so I'll be doing that now. is 20 to 4 somehow. I am 67% of the way through, I don't remember the name of it, but Off Campus Book 3. I've just had a bath. Honestly, I'm just really enjoying my day. I have lost myself so thoroughly in this book. It is just insane to me. Like, I was reading it on my bed and my like TV went into standby mode because like I hadn't been watching it for ages. Like, I got the Netflix or like pop up for like my background noise. I've just gotten so lost in this book. I have not needed any background noise, hence why the TV went into standby mode. Like, that was the first bath I've taken in ages where I've not had like TV or music in the background. I've just become so lost in it. These past couple hours have flown by. I am enjoying the reading experience of this book so much, and I do just think these off-campus books get better and better and better. I am enjoying Ali and Dean's relationship and the way it's playing out even more than I enjoyed book 2, and I thought that book 2 just like couldn't really be topped. Like, I am having such a good time. I don't even really care that I think I'm technically behind schedule, or I don't even care that like the day is really running away from me. I'm just having such a good time that I can genuinely like see myself staying up and reading tonight. Like, it's just been a good experience, and that was my aim for this video, so I'm really happy that I did finally decide to pick up this Elle Kennedy book. And honestly, like, my day is just gonna stay the same. I will catch up with you when I finish the book, because I think the next update should be when I finish it. I've only got 40% left. I'm so intrigued to see where it goes. It's kind of following but also not following the typical romance like plotline or like structure, and I'm enjoying it so much. That ending. I wasn't planning on binging this series, but I genuinely think I might have to buy the next book and read the next book. That was such a good ending. I'm probably not going to read it in this video because I want to like, I really struggle with romance series in this way. Like, I can't just switch off from the previous characters and feel like connected to a new set of main characters, so I do need a little bit of a break, but there will not be a long break between me reading Off Campus Book 3 and me reading Off Campus Book 4. The ending of like book 3 just is the setup for book 4. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I'm so shocked. This was such a good book, like genuinely like 4.5 stars. I loved every second of it. I enjoyed that it didn't follow the general timeline, the general structure of a romance book. I enjoyed that the conflict was believable and not very like long-winded or anything like that. It just felt very college aged drama, and I did appreciate that. I do kind of wish it had taken place over a longer span of time. I'll put a little like spoiler warning in just while I talk about this, so I'll give you like a couple of seconds to skip ahead. There's a point in the book where our main character Ali is talking about the fact that she loves Dean, but she doesn't want to get back with him because she needs some time to herself. And throughout the book there's been this theme of her like going from one relationship to another and her debating whether she wants to be that type of person and what that says about her. And so she says like, oh, I need some time, and then it kind of only takes her a matter of weeks to realize like, okay, I can be on my own, but I don't want to be. And whilst I appreciate that that was the wrap up, because I don't think that anyone should stay alone if they don't want to be alone just to prove that they can be, although I do think that being single is an important thing to learn, but I don't think a matter of weeks was really enough time for that. Like, she would have needed time, in my opinion, to fully get over Dean, to realise if she could be by herself. Like, a matter of weeks is not being by yourself after a relationship. So I just wish that the book had taken place on like a longer timeline, but all in all I'm still very happy with it. It was a great addition to the day. I'm just feeling so positive now, and I just had a fantastic time with it. It is now time to go in to Ugly Love, my very first Colleen Hoover. We will see how it goes. Hopefully this is a fun romance and I keep up the romance momentum, but I'm so nervous because I just think like this could go either way for me, so we will see. We do have a Marvin here beside us. He's just not really oh, look at the stretch. Time to go into the next book. I am 190 pages into Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, and this is a 1-star read for me. I'm just kind of reading it for humour at this point. Like, it's so bad that it's laughable. I do not know what publisher read this and thought, yeah, you know what, this is the book that I want to publish. This is the book that I want my name on. Like, so it's a very, very fast-paced read, and as I said, like, I can't put it down. I realised that this was going to be a 1-star read for me very early on, and yeah, I'm still going. I can't bring myself to DNF it, and I'm talking about it on my YouTube channel now, and I'm talking about it on my Instagram, so I guess in some ways, like, it's a good book in that sense. It's kind of like how the owner of Ryanair always says like really stupid stuff, like he's gonna make everyone stand on flights just so he can get Ryanair's name in the newspaper. That's how I feel about this book. I'll put a spoiler warning up again for the entire time that I'm doing spoilers. The central point of this book is that our main character, Miles, does not want to be in a relationship, and so he and Tate are instantly attracted to each other, instantly decide to engage in a sexual relationship, but Miles is saying like it's going to be no strings attached. Tate agrees even though she doesn't want to agree, and she knows that she'll get feelings straight away, which I already don't really like. I don't mind reading romances where characters hook up straight away. I think that's a very realistic adult thing to do, but for some reason the way it's just written in this book, I'm getting no like spark or anything from our characters. Like, I'm just not vibing with it. But as I said, the essential plot point is that Miles does not want to be in a relationship. The reason that Miles does not want a relationship is because of that he was previously in love with his stepsister and got her pregnant. I'm sorry, who read this and published it? It's awful. And I know technically they're not related and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's really freaking icky, and I can't, but like a car crash, I just can't stop reading it. Whilst it is fast paced and I can't seem to put it down because I just need to see how this car crash resolves, I don't love the fact that it's quite insta-lovey. I don't like the fact that I'm getting no spark or pizzazz or feeling any type of emotion towards our characters at all. They just feel so flat on the page. Like, there's just nothing about them that brings them to life. Like, it's terribly written. Let's just see how this book continues to go, I guess. It is 8:30. I finished Ugly Love and I hated it. It was just not good for all of the reasons that I said before. There was like one really sweet moment at the end where he, like, spoilers on the screen, where he pretended to ask her, well, he did ask her to move in with him, but then he proposed at the same time, so she didn't know. So that was sweet, but it's still a 1-star. And now for Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and to tab it up. So hope that I know this will be a better reading experience because I've read it before, but you know. Change of plan. I have decided to take a break and watch Love Island and have dinner because I always forget how mentally tiring 24-hour challenges are. It always gets to about 9-10 o'clock and I'm like, okay, I have read X amount of books today and now I am mentally tired and I just want to go to sleep and not bother doing this anymore. So given I've read 3 books today and I only have 1 more left for my entire TBR, which will not take me all night to read, I think I can take a good like hour and a half break, and then I mean this could really go either way, but I'm hoping if I have a coffee after dinner then I won't get the I've taken a break now, I don't want to go back feeling. Also, my camera did not arrive today. Very sad. It will be arriving tomorrow now instead. So now I have to put up with this low lighting terribleness because my Canon did not arrive. It's not been a fantastic evening, but it's okay. We've had 1 massive success of this reading vlog. Hopefully I will enjoy Fangirl just as much the second time around, otherwise this is going to be the most depressing 24-hour read vlog in the entire world. It's 1:30 in the morning. I am 336 pages of the way through Fangirl. I have been tabbing it up a little bit and I have about 130 pages left. I do think that I'm gonna go to bed though and tackle this in the morning. As I said, this is gonna be more of a chilled 24-hour reading vlog. I didn't really want to be reading for the full 24 hours, and given I only have 100 pages left of my entire TBR, I think getting some sleep now when I'm actually too tired to be properly tabbing this book and enjoying it is just going to bed is probably a good idea. I have it in my head for some reason that 24-hour challenges mean I have to stay up and be reading for the full 24 hours, but they really don't. So I'm not going to do that. I will go in depth more about my tabbing process in the morning. It has not been a perfect tabbing process, but I will go through how I've been tabbing in this reading vlog in the outro tomorrow morning, and I'll just do a full debrief on it. I haven't read this book in a good few years. I didn't read it my entire university career, even though I kept wanting to, because this is a book set at university, and I feel like there are not many books set at university where the university setting is like a really strong element of the book. It's a definite pro of Fangirl. So it's been a good few years since I read it, and I genuinely forgot so much of what happens. It's starting to like bits and pieces come back to me as I'm reading, but it's been like a good length of time since I read it the first time, and that is making the reread experience very fun. I'm really glad that I kept this book and I didn't get rid of it. It's definitely still cozy. I don't know if I would still give it 5 stars though, but I'm not going to change my rating just because I love the fact that once upon a time I wanted to give this book 5 stars and I was obsessed with this book, and it's just sad for me to think that I don't feel that way now. So as far as I'm concerned, like 16, 17-year-old me who read this book and gave it 5 stars, like she deserves her rating to stand. I'm calling it. I'm gonna go get some sleep and I will catch up with you fairly early tomorrow morning so that we can get a little bit more reading in. Well, guys, a major mistake has been made. I set an alarm for 8 o'clock so I would have an hour and a half of reading. It's 9 o'clock now. Like, I don't know what happened. I didn't wake up. I don't know if my alarm just didn't go off. I don't know like what went wrong. I'm really quite disappointed about it, to be honest with you. I wanted to get up early and finish my book this morning, but I guess I have half an hour of reading and see what we can do, but I don't think I can read over 100 pages in half an hour. I guess I should just go and get reading and get every minute of reading in that I possibly can. And that is the end of the readathon. I do have a Denzel here. He is pressed up against me this morning. He's being very sweet and cuddly this morning. I am on page 384, which is the start of chapter 31. I am just going to sit here for the rest of the morning and finish this book. Yeah, so even though the 24-hour challenge is now technically over, which I'm very angry about myself for not waking up earlier, I'm very determined to get this book finished today, so I'm literally just going to sit here for the next hour or so and get the book finished. The 24 hours is over, and I will catch up with you in the outro of this video. Good morning, guys. So let's debrief the 24-hour challenge. As we know, I started with This Is How You Lose the Time War. I tabbed this up for anything that had themes of love and themes of death, particularly when they were contrasted against each other. This was a fun way to tab, but it's probably not going to be the way that I tab going forward. It just doesn't feel personal enough to me, and I don't really see the point. Like, it makes sense to do it that way if you do really in-depth analytical reviews. If you're doing this for like school or uni or anything like that, it does make sense to tab it that way, but none of those things are me. None of those things are things that I do, so this just feels like a very impersonal way to tab. I haven't rated this book just because it confused me rating wise, because objectively it is stunningly written and beautiful and deserves a high rating for that, but also I didn't enjoy it that much. But then how do I rate it if I think it's beautiful and wonderful but I didn't like it? So I've just left this one without a rating, and I'm quite content to just leave it that way going forwards. You guys know my thoughts on it, so do with that info what you will. So then I read The Score by Elle Kennedy, which is the off-campus book 3. Obviously did not tab that one because it was an ebook. This was by far the standout of the readathon. I gave this 4 stars. Honestly would consider giving it 4.5 stars. I just had so much fun with it, and I genuinely cannot wait to read more of the off-campus books. Like, it was just incredible. Like, I don't have anything more to say other than the fact that if you're looking for a romance, even if the off-campus series has let you down before, I would consider looking at The Score or any of the later books, to be honest with you, because I just think that they get better and better, and I love the creative ways that Elle Kennedy is finding to not have the romances be the same at all. Like, they are so distinctive, and I just don't know how she's doing it, because I definitely would have run out of ideas by this point. I mean, I gave it 1 star. Probably, like, I just feel put off by Colleen Hoover books from now on. Like, the general premise is fine, but the thing that I mentioned that really like ruined the experience for me in the spoilery bit of the blog, the thing that irritates me the most about that is that the same plot, like, she could have left the plot line the same and taken that little detail out, and like literally nothing would have changed. Like, it was a completely irrelevant detail, but that one small detail ruined the whole reading experience. So I just couldn't really forgive that. It's not like it was a central part of the plot or anything like that. It just didn't need to be in there. It was icky and gross, and for what? Like, the same storyline could have occurred without that detail being in there. And I've heard that that's kind of a recurring thing with Colleen Hoover books, is there's just pointless random little details in there for no reason. Don't think I will be continuing with any other Colleen Hoover book, because that was the one I had the highest hopes for, and I gave it 1 star. And then I finished off with Fangirl. So the way that I tabbed up Fangirl was I tabbed up for every time I related, and I tabbed up for every time that I laughed. And I just feel like this is a much better system. I also asked over on Bookstagram how you guys tab, and you guys say that you tab for quotes that you love or things that just speak to you, relate to, etc. Right, sorry about that guys. Angle definitely different. The window cleaners decided to start like cleaning my windows, so hence why I had to stop. There was a lot of background noise. So I feel like the way that I annotated Fangirl will just have to be the way that I annotate going forward. It is a much more personal way of annotating, and it means that when I look at my books, I will see what I enjoyed about them, and I will see the moments that brought me joy or made me cry that I would like to relive. The I is the key point here. Like, your books are your books, and your reading experience is your reading experience, and you are 100% allowed to do whatever you want to enhance that reading experience. And so I would just like to keep track of why I loved certain books, and like 10 years down the line, if I still have a book, which in theory if I tab it enough because I love it, then I should still have it, pull it off the shelf and just immediately be able to see all of the reasons that I love it. And I just think that that's the way that has spoken to me the most to tab, so that is what I will be doing going forward. And it's really good to know how I like to tab now, so I do recommend that you try multiple ways of tabbing and annotating just to see how you enjoy it. So thank you guys very much for watching this reading vlog. I do hope that you have enjoyed it. Do subscribe if you haven't already, because I upload booktube content twice a week on a Wednesday and a Friday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here for you to enjoy. Also do check out some of my other 24-hour challenges and reading vlogs, all in playlists, one called reading vlogs and one called doing something stupid. So they're nice and easy for you to find, and you can watch as many reading vlogs as you would like to, just if you're in the mood or you want some background noise. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, you're enjoying everything that you are reading, and there are no reading slumps in your future. And I'll see you for my next video. Bye guys.